Hi everybody, in today's video I'm going to explain why when I come out hiking with my camera I always bring my Nikon Z 24-200 4-6.3 with me. So I've come to an area that I know pretty well, and I've come here mainly because this offers such a great opportunity to use the full spectrum of focal ranges on this lens. So I've got a shot lined up here, which basically what I'm doing is just showing you the benefit of that 24-200. So on the camera, I'm just going to show you when I'm zooming in, zooming out slightly, and that versatility in terms of the type of shot that I get. So again, let me just start recording on the camera. Maybe if I lighten it up a little bit, that probably helps. Yeah, so you can see there, this is at probably about 60 mil. Now obviously it's in video mode, so it's not going to look exactly identical. And then I can zoom all the way in, that's 105. And if I want to include the sky, which I really don't, then I can go out to 35, although again, you've got a lot of foreground here, which is not great. So yeah, really from here onwards, which is about 70, through to 105, gives me something reasonable as a shot. So what I'll probably do though is just show both photos and then you can decide which one you prefer. So as I said, I'm using my Nikon Z 24-200. It's a 4-6.3. But for landscape photography, I find this lens absolutely perfect, particularly for the location that I'm in today, because there will be some shots where I want to be maybe not at 24, but certainly at the wide end of the scale. But there'll also be some shots that I really benefit from zooming in. So the 24-200 really does help me out in terms of that range. The other reason I use it is that when I'm hiking, it's actually much lighter. Yes, you can get faster lenses, you can get sharper lenses, but I really don't want to be carrying all of that stuff around, particularly if the hike is a little bit uphill, which this part is. You can probably tell I'm a little bit out of breath. So it's really for those two reasons, the versatility of the lens plus the fact that it's super lightweight. So the weather conditions are okay. I mean, it's cloudy, there's no great light, but it's quite nice in this occasion, I think, just to take some close-up shots. So I'm working on a composition at the moment, which I'll show you in a second. If I just put the camera into video mode. Yeah, so I'm working on this composition here. I can't quite decide whether I like the little concrete barrier there or not. So I can either zoom out, obviously without getting the hedge in there, or zoom right in. But I really like the colours on that. And what that's doing then, obviously, is eliminating the sky, which is not particularly interesting, but really focusing on those amazing autumn colours. So the other thing we can do, of course, when the weather's like this is a little bit of long exposure photography, particularly when we have water involved as well. It's a little bit breezy, so the water's moving, the clouds are moving a little bit as well. So generally when I'm doing long exposure like this, I take two shots. I take one without the ND filter, and then what I do is put the 10-stop filter that I've got, I put that on the camera, and then take the second shot there. What I generally then do is blend the two photos together. So in Photoshop, you can do it in Lightroom as well. I just prefer Photoshop because I can use a mask. Then in Photoshop, I blend the two photos together, generally with the smoother water from the ND shot. And then the top half with the clouds and also the trees I generally use as my regular shot. It does depend on the conditions. Sometimes I just use the ND shot for all of it, but it really does depend on what's happening in the sky. The sky is actually quite bright at the moment, so I think I will probably do a blend. Another example of the flexibility of the zoom lens. So I'll show you on the back of the camera what I'm looking at. So this is about 135 and I can zoom out. This is around about, again, I'm trying to eliminate sky, so that's about 80 mil. And then I could, if I really wanted to, zoom all the way into, as I said, to 135, 200 possibly, although it doesn't really work quite as well on that. But again, just having this zoom lens really gives me a great deal of flexibility. Now, you may have seen it in one of my earlier videos. I talked about how I generally use aperture mode for landscape photography, and I do, but actually I've just looked at something on my screen which is in manual mode, because for video I generally use manual, and it was in manual mode, and I was looking at a scene in here, which I'll show you now again on the main camera. And because I was in manual, it's actually showing up pretty dark, but actually I really like this. So if I was in aperture mode, in fact if I put it into aperture mode, you'll see that that's pretty much made it really bright, which I don't like. So switching back into manual, really focusing on a light at the end of this path. So I've taken the shot like this, again, you know, no sky, because what I want is this kind of effect of dark to light. Now, of course, I could have done this in post-processing, could have taken it in aperture and spent a lot of time darkening and etc., but this does show one of the benefits of using manual, the ability to play around with things, to be a little bit more creative and look for slightly different things when you're looking for your shots. Right, time to go home, grab a coffee and put all of my photos into Lightroom and see what I've got. As always, thank you for watching and see you next time.